Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi, who's it?
Yeah, I'm Srinivas.
Srinivas. Hello.
Hello, sir. Ankita here.
Hi, Ankita. This is Rajesh. I'm your new Linux admin faculty from Durga Software.
Yes, sir.
Shall we start with the course?
Sure, sir.
Madam, please mute your mic so it is actually creating some disturbance. Hello, can I start now? Hello, can I start?
Yes, sir. I will go on now.
Okay, ready. Hello, we are going to start today Linux administration. This is a demo session, first demo session. Okay. The focus of the Hello, today's focus is on objectives like kernel, operating system distributions, various distributions, flavors, features, installation, and as well as file system hierarchy. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. Today I want to talk about Linux operating system. So before starting with the Linux operating system, we need to get to know about what is the software, because we have been using the term software many times. What exactly is a software? Software can be said as a set of programs. Hello. Software can be said as a set of programs which is used to help us in interacting with the hardware. Okay. The software can be actually divided into two terms: system software and application software. The Linux is an operating system which comes in the category of system software. System software. The operating system is one of the category of system software which directly interacts with the hardware in order to actually take our command, do our what required work, and give us the output. Some softwares are is classified as GUI based. Can all hear me? CUI software is again classified into single user software. GUI can software can also be classified into single user and multi-user software. Any doubts you can ask me. The cat under the CUI, which is a character user interface system software, there are again two categories like single user and multi-user software. Single user examples of a single user software is MS-DOS. Examples of CUI-based system software in multi-user is Unix, Linux, Solaris, IBM, HPX. Hello. Ankita ji, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. We can hear you.
You can understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. So types of softwares is CUI and GUI, but is there any long form
System
for CUI and GUI?
CUI stands for character user interface. Text. I'll write.
Hmm.
Which means character user interface means you are actually giving commands to the software, commands to the OS directly, not using any GUI tool. GUI based means graphic user interface system software, where we are actually giving graphic using a graphic window. We are actually submitting the command to the OS. So system software is actually the most important component of any software, because system software is the one which is actually giving, which is actually working as an interface between the user and the hardware. Whenever you buy a desktop or computer and wanted to play a movie in that, so the computer doesn't directly understand what you are saying. So in order for the computer to understand what you are saying, we need an interface which actually converts our user-defined language or user-friendly language to system-defined language, which is binary, zeros and ones. Got it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the hardware actually works on binary, and user works actually depending on his own language, maybe English or Hindi or any other thing. So this operating system is interface between the user and the hardware. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Okay. So system software, okay. But according to you, system software, operating system comes under system software. What is system software? It is actually it can be classified as GUI based, which is character user interface, and it is a GUI based, which is graphical user interface. As a very prominent example for GUI based operating system is Windows. We all know that. It is very user friendly and doesn't need any explanation or any help from others. You can just try it yourself. But when it comes to character user interface software, so it uses commands. But without knowing the command or without using the use of the command, you are not able to actually access or do any work with the character user interface software. OS. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The operating systems. Coming to the system software, you got to know what is the CUI base and what is the GUI base. The basic example for a CUI based software is Windows MS-DOS for a single user type. And the basic example for a CUI based system software for multi-user is
Sorry, sir, your voice is not coming.
and Linux, HP Unix, Solaris, and IBM. Got it? Hello?
Mhm.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we are going for the classification of the operating system. Classification of the operating system. Operating systems can be classified into single user multitasking operating system, multi-user multitasking operating system. I'll explain all the three. Okay. The operating systems can be classified into three types. Single user, single tasking OS operating system, single user multitasking operating system, multi-user multitasking operating system. We'll get to know what are the meaning of all these things. Okay, what is a single user? In this type of operating system, only one user can log in into the system and can perform only one task at a time. Single user, single tasking OS is a kind of OS where a single user can log in into the system and only can perform one task at a time. Examples of the single user multitasking OS. MS-DOS. Example, what is a single user multitasking OS? Mean at any point of time, a single user can log into system, but he can actually. Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Is my voice clear? Is my
Yes,
voice
at
clear?
my
Hello. Okay. So single user multitasking OS is examples of single user multitasking OS is Windows 98, Windows XP, Vista, Windows 8, etc. What is the meaning of the single user multitask OS in at any given point of time, single user can log in, but he can actually perform many of the operations like at the same time, like listening to music, printing a file, seeing movie, and etc. Other things, browsing internet, etc. The third kind is multi-user multitasking OS, where multiple users can log into the system at the same time and also perform multiple tasks depending on the requirement. The multi-user multitasking OS examples are Unix, Unix, and Linux. Okay, got it? Okay, hello, got it?
yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now come to the objectives of our thing. What is OS made of? From this time, we are actually talking about system software. System software is classified as CUI based system software, GUI based. CUI stands for character user interface software, GUI based for graphical user interface software. So operating systems come under system software, which is actually acting as an interface between a user and a hardware to work. Okay. Operating systems are basically systems are classified into three types: single user, single tasking OS, single user multitasking OS, multi-user multitasking OS. And I have given examples of all the three. as you can see my screen. Okay, now let's come to what exactly is an operating system. What are the components of an operating system? Anybody having any kind of doubt, you can please ask me. Okay. The main components of our operating system is made of three components. Okay. The operating system can be divided into three components: kernel, shell, utility commands. Okay. What is a kernel? What is a shell? What are the utility commands? Now we are going to learn. Okay. Kernel is called the core of the operating system or the heart of the operating system. It is actually the one which converts your user-defined language, which is submitted by the shell to the kernel, does the required task, and gives back the output to the shell, and the shell gives the output to the user. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kernel. I'll show you the pics regarding the kernel and how it actually looks like and a diagram for them. Can you see the diagram? Can you see the picture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the center, it is hardware. Hardware is anything which actually your computer has, like a printer, input-output device, is a speaker, it is a monitor, or anything comes in a hardware. Then the kernel is above that. Actually, what does the kernel do is actually it is actually the one which actually directly interacts with the hardware. It actually communicates with the hardware because user only can understand user-defined language or a high-level language, and the hardware understands only zeros and ones. Kernel is the heart of the OS, which actually the one which actually interprets and directly talks to the hardware. And the kernel is made up of device drivers, some system calls. And above that, there is the shell. Shell is a command line interpreter, which acts as an interface between the user command and the kernel. The utilities, on the other hand, are the utilities like ls, cat, vi command, which actually we are using it to create files, do some other things. Okay, got it? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Any doubts? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, no.
Okay. So, okay, we can say kernel is a logical mechanism of OS, also the heart of the OS, which directly interacts with the hardware. I'm giving you all the notes here itself. Okay, understood what is kernel? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now we are going to discuss the OS, which we are actually waiting for, which is RHEL 7. We are actually going to, in this course, we are going to actually do administration, Linux administration in Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 7 OS. Okay, Red Hat has so many versions. Red Hat has so many versions. There are these versions
Mm-hmm.
actually are classified into two kinds, which are actually free versions, which are actually commercial versions. Let us see what are the different versions available and what is actually used and what is the difference between a commercial version and a free version. Okay. Okay.
Mm.
There are two types. Red Hat one is the free commercial. Red Hat is one of the vendor. Actually, what this Red Hat means, Red Hat is one of the vendor who's actually taken the Linux operating system, this Linux operating system, modified accordingly to their requirements and is released in the name of Red Hat. The original Linux operating system kernel was actually written by Linus Torvalds in Helsinki University, and he has written that kernel and submitted it to OSF, Open Software Foundation. The Open Software Foundation is a foundation or organization which is actually supporting free OS concept. So the Open Operating System has taken this kernel which has been written by Linus Torvalds and then enhanced and written other code and released it in the name of Red Hat and other. These Red Hat is one of the subscription of the original Linux Torvalds Linux operating system kernel. It is one of the vendor. Red Hat is one of the vendor who has taken this old Linux kernel, enhanced it, made other changes, and actually produced Red Hat Linux Enterprise Linux. Red Hat has two kind of operating systems available. One is free operating system, which is can be accessed free of cost. One is a commercial operating system, which we have to take license in order to use it. Got it? Hello?
Yes.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Red Hat has free editions like Red Hat 1 to Red Hat 9 are the free editions. Later, after Red Hat 9, the name was actually changed to Fedora. Fedora 1 to Fedora 30. Commercial operating systems names are RHEL 1 to RHEL currently 8. But we are dealing with RHEL 7. RHEL stands for Red Hat Enterprise Linux and it is a commercial edition, and it is very powerful. Has got many utilities, many functionalities. Okay, did you get it? Okay, hello, did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any doubts you can ask me. Any doubts, any kind of confusion you have, anything you want to express, you can just ask me. I'll be giving you the answer. Mr. Babu, are you listening? Mr. Babu, Mr. Babu, Mr. Durga Devi, are you listening? Have any doubts?
Sir, I'm listening, sir. No doubt.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello. Tell me, Durga Devi ji.
Nothing, sir. No doubt, sir.
No doubts. Okay. Okay. Now, let us understand. Hello, hello. Now, let us understand the layers of the Linux operating system. Whenever a user gives a command to the Linux operating system, the command goes to the shell. Shell is a command line interpreter which takes the operating command, checks for the availability of the command, checks for the correctness of the command, gives the command to the kernel. Kernel executes the option or the command on behalf of you, does the required thing, and gives back to the shell, and shell again gives back to the user. I will show you a diagram of that. Hello, I'm into CentOS Linux 7 servers, which I've installed on my system. And very soon, in 1 or 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to show the installation. Then you'll get to know what is the Linux operating system and how it is installed. Before that, I want to just explain how the operating system works and how the different components of the operating system coordinate with each other to do as a task. Okay, as you can see.
Okay, sir.
Okay, as you can see, I'm giving a directory command. mkdir command stands for make directory, which actually creates a directory for me. Okay, the directory name is Rajesh. Suppose directory name is Rajesh. Now you can see that I have created a directory with the name Rajesh, and it is being created here. But you don't understand, we are just giving a command. What is actually happening in the background of the command is that whenever you give a directory, whenever your command like mkdir, which is make directory command, the command actually takes the shell actually takes the command like mkdir, searches for the specific command wherever the location is there.
Sorry, sir, your voice is not coming.
Okay. Madam, you can hear me? Is my audio is it audible?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. The mkdir command is one of the utilities which has been given by the Linux OS. It is a command base. I already told you, Linux is like Red Hat Enterprise Linux is basically a command or a CUI based operating system, multi-user, multitasking operating system. So the mkdir command which has been given here has created the directory by name Rajesh in the local directory which is called root/root. So what is happening in the background is whenever you are giving a command, the command actually the command goes to the shell. Shell searches for the given command existence in its locations, different command locations like sbin, bin, and usr directories. If the specific command which is actually given is mkdir available, it loads into the memory and gives it the input Rajesh, and then it submits to kernel. Kernel takes now got to know that it has to do the work of creating a directory by the name Rajesh in the location /root, which I am actually showing on the screen. So the kernel will take this, performs many low-level hardware and software services, services. Before this, the kernel creates a process for it because mkdir is a command. Every command which has been submitted to the kernel, a process is created by the kernel. Process is a number which is having the task execution permissions, and it submits it to the hardware. The hardware on behalf of the kernel does the required thing, and the hardware then gives back to the kernel then gives back to the success message to the shell displays it on the screen. This is happening in the background. Okay, got to understand how actually the command works is, after user gives us a command to the shell reads the command, converts into kernel understandable format. Kernel on behalf of creating that command will create a process for it, separate process for it, with a process ID, memory, execution time, and there. Then the command is executed depending on the hardware. Then the command gives back to the kernel. Kernel then gives it back to the shell. Shell gives the success thing that it has been done. If there is any issue that command is not available, then the kernel adding a small command mkdir and giving the command name 2, which is not available, creating a directory named Deepika. So here mkdir2 command is not available. This command being searched by the shell thinks that this is not a command, it throws an error. As you can see here, bash command error, mkdir2 command not found. Got it? Okay. Before execution and after execution, you got to understand. So you got to understand what are the different available things like here. See, what are the free edition? What are the commercial editions? Free editions are started from Red Hat 1 to Red Hat line. Later, the free edition was named actually Fedora has taken over the free edition. Fedora. Okay. Later that the free edition was used in the name of Fedora, and now the current Fedora version is Fedora 33, I suppose. And the commercial editions are actually starting from RHEL 1 to RHEL 8. Current edition is RHEL 8, and all the commercial editions are named in the format of RHEL, which is Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And what is the difference between this commercial editions and why the free editions? Whenever before releasing any kind of commercial edition, the same code is actually given as a free edition, tested for bugs, remove all the problems, then actually released as a commercial edition. Free edition does the same thing, but free edition has got some kind of applications are less, and commercial editions will support many applications. And apart from that, commercial editions you get what is that called system support. Means in any kind of issue, suppose you are using RHEL 7 in order to deploy a database server like Oracle. There was some problem, you are not able to access, or there was a corruption in file system. So all the data which is actually saved there in the database may get corrupted, and that is very much important for the company. So they can't lose the data. So if you contact the Red Hat Enterprise Red Hat team saying I have this kind of problem, they give us solutions. Maybe they give us a patch, or they may help you in recovering the database also. Got it? Hello? Understood the difference between a free edition and commercial edition?
Yes, sir. There are some limitations, right? For free editions, some of the applications will support, and for commercial,
yes. Commercial will support all the applications. Apart from that, you are given support. Support means any kind of issue, any kind of bug, any kind of issue is raised, you will get a support from the Red Hat team. They will help you in doing anything. If it is a crash in the OS, this is a crash in the file system, there is any other application which are using, maybe website you have created and actually deployed on a commercial edition, you get support. The free edition, you don't get support. That's the only thing. And first the code and everything implementation of the commercial edition is released as a free edition. The bugs are corrected, do another checkups, and later that same thing is actually released as a commercial edition. Okay. Now you got to understand different things. See, now you understand the Linux OS is made up of kernel, It is made up of shell. After that, on the shell, there are many other utilities or commands like memcdir, ls, cat, vi, other commands. Okay, you got to understand. Then, how many different types of kernels are there in Linux? We'll just understand what are the different types of kernels and where they are located. So, I already told you kernel is an interface which actually directly communicates with the hardware. Means hardware it directly communicates because it communicates with the help of device drivers, and at the same time it communicates with the help of system calls also. Kernel is a combination of device drivers, system calls, and other things. So there are two types of kernels available in the Linux operating system in Red Hat. I'll just show you different types of kernels. There are two kinds of kernels available. The first kernel is called VM Linux. VMLN. I'll show you. I'll write it. Kernels in Linux. VL7. In user. Second is there are two kernels, VM Linux and VM Linux Let's do. There are number of shells. I will also write about types of shells. I'll show you that shells also. See, kernel is actually the part of the operating system which is actually maintained in the boot directory. I'll show you the boot directory. cd /. This is the whole file system of Linux operating system. Red Hat Enterprise Linux is. You can see many of the directories which are in blue, which are all directories like bin, boot, device, etc. So I'll come to this debugging detailedly about each and every directory part of the file system hierarchy. Just for currently, just see I'm going into the boot directory. cd command is actually the change directory, which is actually shifting to boot directory. So I am into the boot directory where I'm giving the ls command which means listing. As you can see here, the boot directory contains directories like VM Linux 0 rescue, VM Linux. Okay, the VM Linux here is the original kernel of the Linux operating system, and the VM Linux 0 rescue is the rescue kernel whenever there is a crash in the operating system or any other. Using this kernel, you can actually. Okay. Now you got to know different kernel Linux kernels. Now we will I'll show you what are the different types of shells available. There are 6 to 7 types of different shells available in Linux operating system. I'll show you that. This is a file which contains. You can see the shells. First shell is written as bin sh. Bin is the directory and sh is the shell. This is called Bourne shell. Bourne shell is the first original Linux written in Linux. Second shell is actually the bash shell, which is called Bourne again shell. This is the default shell for the Linux operating system currently. Then there is actually the bash shell. Then there is actually TCSH shell, which is Turbo C shell, and there is one more shell called CSH shell. Apart from this shell, there are two other shells like LSH and KSH, KSH and ZSH. Okay. Okay. Now you got to know different types of shells available in Linux and different types of kernels and where they are available in Linux. Now we will go to the history of Unix operating system. Till now we are actually discussing some default things, but this is not exact order of the discussion. From now it will start. The discussion, the order will be correctly followed. Okay. History of the Linux operating system. Okay. First, actually, the history of before discussing the history of the Linux operating system, we need to go to understand the history of the Unix operating system, which is the father of Linux. Okay, first in 1965, Multics for the operating system was developed which is called Multiplex Information Computing System, was the operating system written 100% in 1965 in assembly language. Okay. Later, it was written in assembly language. It was very crude. There were many other issues. So later it was dumped. Later they came to implementation of Unix, which is UNICS operating system, which is called Multiplex Information Computing System, which was written 80% in C language plus 20% in assembly language. And it has been done in 1969. So Unix was actually dumped again, and it later was renamed as Unix, which is called Unix, written completely in C programming language. I'll give you a brief description of these things. Madam, you got to understand. Madam, Durga ji, you understanding? Durga ji, you understanding? Ankita ji, got to understand?
Yeah.
Any doubts?
Yes, no, sir.
No, okay. Different types of shells I'm writing, 6 types. One is SH, which is called Bourne shell, which is the default shell when the Linux was created originally. Okay. Second type of shell is called Bash shell, which is called Bash shell. This is called BOU, Bourne again. Okay. The third shell is CCSH shell. The fourth shell is C shell, which is called CSHELN. Fifth shell is K shell, KSH shell. And the sixth is ZSH shell. And there is one more shell which actually not already many times mentioned, no login shell. Madam, when we install the operating system, we get to understand what are these shells, and when we are working with the operating system, we will compulsory understand what is it. For time being, just remember these are the different types of shells. These are the different types of kernels available. Okay. Linux, the kernel of Linux. It is not Linux. It is VM Linux. NUZ, because Z stands for compressed shell. The shell is compressed. And VM Linux Rescue is a rescue shell. Means whenever the Linux OS crashes and some kind of recovery is required, this Linux shell, rescue shell, will be used. Okay. Now you got to understand what is the difference between a free edition and a commercial edition. Hello?
Yes,
You got to understand. Okay. Now, as you already seen, I have opened my operating system and actually I'm showing you the things. But it is not the original Red Hat RHEL version. But I am using CentOS 7. As you can see, I am using CentOS 7. Then why I am using CentOS? What I'm asking is, I am teaching you Red Hat Enterprise Linux administration. But why I am using no name? See, I'm showing the name of the operating system which is stored in a file. Name of the operating system stored in a file. If you are coming into any real-time system, you don't need to ask anybody what is the operating system you are working. You can just check it from the file. Okay. Red Hat release. What is the release? See, this is the file which I am opening with the cat command. Command is the reader of the file. Red Hat release the file. You can see my Red Hat operating system is CentOS Linux release 7.8 2003 core. Then why I am using Red Hat? I am telling you. But why I am showing CentOS Linux? Any idea? Any idea, Ankita ji? No. Okay. I will tell you. As I have shown you the free edition and commercial edition. Okay, I already told you, but using of the commercial edition from Red Hat, which is called vendor. Red Hat RHEL is Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Madam, you got it, na? Should I write it?
No, no.
Okay, because Red Hat Enterprise Linux is a commercial edition. Thing is that in order to use the commercial edition, you have to download any application further in the commercial edition. In order to get any support for the commercial edition, you need to pay some amount. Depending on number of usage on the server, depending on the applications you want to deploy on that, you need to actually, depending on the support you want to add that, you need to pay for the Red Hat distribution. So what has happened is that Red Hat, this CentOS is actually a vendor. CentOS is also a vendor. CentOS vendor means who actually sells us the application, operating system application, who is sending us. CentOS is also a vendor who has actually, what has he done is taken the same Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system, copied it for free and submitting us free. So any concept you wanted to implement on Red Hat Enterprise Linux, taking the support and paying the money can be done in the same CentOS Linux distribution free of cost. Okay. Hello.
But
CentOS is
we have to
giving the
pay
same.
to.
Hello, tell me.
Yes, sir. Actually, what I'm asking is we have to pay for this RHEL 7, right? So
Yes, yes. If
then.
you are, see, I will tell you. You can download RHEL for free without any issue. Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system commercial editions can be purchased, but in order you can actually do your system tasks. Like you want to actually deploy something, you wanted to learn some Linux administration, so download it. You are working fine, but suppose that specific application requires some specific components, like say, suppose a setup file is required, suppose setup updates are required, so Linux will charge them, Red Hat will charge them. Got it? I'm saying, suppose you are actually deploying Apache web server. Apache web server is an application written in Red Hat for in order to deploy websites. Madam, you want to actually deploy the Durgasoft website. In order to deploy your Durgasoft website, there you will do how the application, this Apache web server is an application in Linux operating system written specifically to deploy different kind of websites. Okay. Suppose the specific application requires some specific needs, specific otherwise updates. Matlab, is this specific application is having some dependencies, means it needs a specific software to work or specific extra thing. Then, if you consult Red Hat to in order to download or do so update the subscription or do any other thing, Red Hat will then charge you to give support, give you all these things. So whenever the CentOS is actually a subscription kind of thing, like Red Hat, who is actually the vendor of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS is actually the vendor of which is called Community Enterprise Linux. CentOS. CentOS stands for Community Enterprise OS operating system. This is a vendor which is actually giving the same exact copy of Red Hat Enterprise Linux for free. Got it?
Okay.
Same, without any money, Any updates in Red Hat is coming. CentOS is also updated with the same updates without money, no commercial, free of cost, and can be downloaded from the website directly without any registration or any kind of hassles. Got it? So when all the people, if some, you also know why is Red Hat or any other Linux operating system is working this way, because these are open source software. Open source stands for the code is actually available free of cost, which can be modified according to your requirement, according to your applicability. Then automatically it works without any issue. So Red Hat, though it is giving it free, but later charges for extra things like support or any other extra commercial. But the same Red Hat software is being copied exactly to the same thing, linked into CentOS name and being released. Okay. So being free, CentOS being free, companies are actually thinking, why need to pay for the same thing for Red Hat? Why don't I get the same free thing and do my work? Got it? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
So CentOS one now equivalent of now commercial editions I have written. I am adding one more thing here. See. Free and CentOS stands for, madam, you know, you are getting it what I'm saying? Hello?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay. CentOS stands for, what is the meaning of CentOS? CentOS stands for Community Enterprise Operating System. So, because of the CentOS, which is being commercially available for free, equivalent to Red Hat, so many people
Mm-hmm.
are actually preferring CentOS. So, myself, I have downloaded CentOS from the CentOS.org website, and I have deployed my
Mm-hmm.
CentOS 7 server. The server which I am showing you in the background is a CentOS server, which is equivalent to Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7. Okay. As you
Mm-hmm.
can see, I have shown, I don't know, I am just given a system. I don't know which operating system is. I can't ask the beside people by what is this operating system like a layman. You need to know what is the operating system by yourself. How do you know?
Mm-hmm.
When I am actually displaying the file data of Red Hat release, which is in etc directory using a cat command, these commands will come later and giving you idea of read. So it is given CentOS Linux release 7 7.8 core. Got it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay, madam. Now you got to understand what is Multics. Multics was actually the before of Unix, which was implemented 100% in 1965 in assembly language. It was dumped because it was not assembly language being very hard to code, very hard to interpret. It
Okay.
was dumped. Later came Unix, UNICS, not Unix, UNICS, which is Unix-based
Uh-huh.
information computing system, which is written 80% in C language and 20% in assembly language, written in 1969. But this was also dumped. Later they came the version of Unix, UNIX, which is the base operating system or the core operating system on which Linux and other flavors are depending. This was written in 1973, written 100% in C language. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now you got to understand in 1973 Unix kernel was written and operating system was created. Now this is an open source kernel. The Unix kernel was though written by Thing was released to universities and other research organizations in order to experiment and actually develop it further. Okay, this was later in 1973. Later the Unix kernel, the same Unix kernel, madam. Now updation to the Unix 1973. What I'm saying is. Hello? Unix kernel was taken by different vendors and modified accordingly because it is open source. Open source means it is free code. Source code is freely available in the internet or at their website, which can be downloaded, changed accordingly, republish your own name, and then be sold also. Okay. So Unix kernel was taken by different vendors, modified accordingly, then released on their own as their own new OSs. And the vendors' names are, vendor means what? Who is actually selling us? You know, like Red Hat is selling us, Red Hat is my vendor. CentOS is selling us, CentOS is a vendor. Okay. These are different vendors of the Unix, base Unix, not Linux, madam. Remember, I am talking about Unix operating system only. Okay, AT&T Bell Labs has written their own Unix operating system, taken the original source code of the original kernel of the Unix code, and AT&T Bell Labs. You know, AT&T Bell Labs is a very big company which has developed C and has released an operating system by the name SYS3 to SYS5. Okay.
Okay.
AT&T Bell Labs has taken the original Unix kernel code, released an operating system by the name sys3 to sys5. Sys3, sys3 version, sys4, sys5 version. Sun Microsystem, Sun Microsystem was
Okay.
another vendor which has taken the same Unix operating system kernel before made modifications to it, released it in the name of Solaris. Got it? Later, IBM has also taken the same Unix kernel, open source code, modified it, and released in the name of operating system in the name of AIX.
Huh.
Okay, next SG, Silicon Graphics something company, has also taken the same Unix code. This is the name of the vendor SG, Silicon Graphics something, has taken the same Unix code, operating system modified, released it in the name of IRIX.
Okay.
Okay, this way HP also has taken, BSD is also a vendor which has released FreeBSD. BSD stands for Berkeley Software Distribution. Madam, these are all the variants of the original Unix operating system taken by a subject vendor, modified it and released in their name. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Later came HP also. HP also taken the same operating system. HP with Hewlett Packard has taken the same code and then developed as HP UX. Got it?
Okay.
Madam, okay. Now we have only understand the history of Unix OS. How come Linux came? When did Linux come? Then that we have to understand. No? Okay. 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 History of Linux now. Madam, I will write the vendor and the operating system. Do you want that information? Vendor and operating systems? Like you.
No, sir. That's fine.
I will write vendor and OS names. Okay, madam. See here. You can see on my screen. I think you can see the screen. Okay. First, AT&T. Okay. AT&T has taken the same Unix code, modified it, released as sys3 to sys5. Name of the operating system, madam. AT&T Bell Labs, madam.
Yes.
Labs. Madam, now you are able to follow, na? If any doubt is there, any issue, you can just ask me. I will tell you. Okay. Sun Microsystem. Sun is a vendor which has actually taken the same Unix code and written Solaris. Okay. HP has taken the same code and written as released as operating system HP UX. Okay. Madam, these are all high-end operating system. Madam, still used. These are not any old operating systems which are not used. Still, these are used. In big companies, everything they implement their own operating system based on Unix, and still they are used. And these AT&T Bell Labs sys3 to sys5 operating system, Solaris operating system, HP UX is not free of cost. It is very expensive. To your information, HP UX, Solaris, sys3 to sys5, all these vendors, though they have taken the original Unix code, developed their own and released. But these are all paid services. These are not free OSs. Very powerful OSs. Got it? Okay. Now, from the history of Unix, shall we come now to the history of Linux? Okay. We have to discuss Linux, but without telling the Unix history, I can't come to Linux history. So now I am starting with the Linux history. What is Linux history? Shall we start? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Linux history, according to the Linux history, Linus Torvalds was the person who is actually the person who has actually written a Linux kernel by himself. Linux kernel he has adapted a Linux kernel from a Unix OS, changed it and written it for x86 processor and released to Open Software Foundation.
Okay, Miss Linus Torvald has taken the same Unix shell, or by himself he has written?
Madam, Linus Torvalds was the person. Linus Torvalds was the person who has taken Minix was also a kind of Unix, but not obscure one, not used much. He has taken, modified the kernel, written his own code, and actually released it in Open Software Foundation. This is an organization. This open is the OSF is Open Software Foundation is an organization which actually prefers or actually is actually helping to develop free OS, free OS or free content, any content which is actually returnable free of the cost. This is the organization which is actually helping him to do that. He has written and published it to OSF. OSF purpose have distributed this to other developers who are actually wanted to do is free. They built up on the same Linux kernel. They built up other utilities and other things of the user utilities, required utilities depending on that, and have developed the Linux OS. This is how the Linux OS came into existence.
Okay.
Got it? How it got to existence in 1990, Linux Torvalds for the he was actually a student at Helsinki University. He has written his own Linux kernel, taken it from the Unix OS, which was not used much, adapted it to x86 some 386 hardware architecture, and released it to OSF Foundation. OSF Foundation is actually the foundation which actually supports free availability of any operating system. So code. So this was distributed to other members who are working for OSF. They have developed it one by one, have written the utilities on that. Later, this became Linux operating system. Got it?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now the Linux operating system, how it came into existence, now you got to understand. Okay, the same way like Unix operating system was actually open source, it has been taken by different vendors like AT&T and released in the same way. The Linux operating system kernel and other utilities which were written by these OSF people and now it is being maintained by GNU software, were taken by different vendors and renamed accordingly, enhanced and changed, and then re-released in their own names. Red Hat is one of the vendor who has taken the Linux operating system written by OSF Foundation and maintained by GNU software, and made changes, enhanced and actually added other utilities and released in the name of Red Hat Enterprise Linux or Red Hat Free Linux. Got it? Okay, how Linux came into existence from Linux Torvalds, written and given it to Open Software Foundation. Later, this Linux distribution was taken by different vendors like Red Hat, SUSE, Ubuntu, Mandrake, CentOS, Fedora. Have you heard about Fedora? I think you have heard CentOS. I told you. Mandrake, Ubuntu, Kali Linux, Tech Linux. There are many flavors, hundreds and hundreds of flavors. There are more than 100, 200 flavors of Linux itself. You know, means the same Linux OS was taken, modified accordingly, renamed into their own company, or enhanced to their own requirements. Suppose a Red Hat Enterprise Linux is there, taken by Red Hat from the Linux, modified accordingly, add the utility. Suppose Red Hat want to give a specific utility, they modified it perfectly for that utility and they released it in their name as Red Hat or Mandrake or SUSE or Ubuntu. Okay. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Now you got to understand different Linux vendors and distributions. Got it, madam? Should I write it? You are getting it, or should I mention it in the text file?
No, sir. Just I wondered out that what is GNU then?
GNU it is actually the organization which has taken over from US. I'll tell you, GNU full form is madam. GNU full form name is GNU, not Unix. It is given. See, in the operating system, I have actually opened it. GNU operating system is a complete free operating system, upward compatible with Unix because it was taken from Unix. Okay, GNU stands for GNU. Okay, but pronounced as one syllable, which is hard. Okay, got it, madam? Okay, GNU is actually the organization now currently which is actually taken over the OSF in order to maintain the open source free. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now you got to understand the history of Linux. You got different Linux distribution. Should I write it, madam? You want it in writing? I'll actually give you everything in writing also. Do you want that vendor and OS name should be written? Are you getting it?
No, I got it.
Okay. Now next we'll go. For every Linux distribution, madam, now you got to understand how Linux came into existence and how the original Linux was actually copied by different vendors like Red Hat and released in their own name, like Red Hat Enterprise Linux or Red Hat Free Linux or CentOS, etc. And now
Mm-hmm.
for every Linux distribution, like Red Hat or other things, Red Hat or Kali Linux or SUSE, there are two types of distributions again. What are the
Okay.
two types of distributions? Is one is a free distribution or client side distribution. One is a server side distribution. Okay, free
Mm-hmm.
distribution, Linux, client side distribution, commercial version, and free version. Commercial version used for commercial purposes, which use support and all. Free version can also be used the same way without any support or without any updates and all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I already showed you what are the different free distributions of Linux operating system from Red Hat and CentOS, which I'm highlighting it here. Okay, free distribution Red Hat 1 to Red Hat 9. After Red Hat 9, it has been actually taken over by Fedora organization, which is released Fedora 1 to Fedora. Now 33, I think is the 33 or 34 is the latest. And the commercial editions
Mm-hmm.
for the same Red Hat distributions stand for Red Hat Enterprise Linux 1 to Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. But currently, in this Linux administration course, which we are going to do, we are actually going to support Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 version. Okay. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but this Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 version is as good as same as CentOS 7 version. So I am actually installing CentOS 7 version and showing you the total Linux administration course. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you got to understand what are the different Red Hat free version and commercial editions. Okay. Now, and you also got to understand why I am preferring CentOS. CentOS is only preferred because it is actually the ditto copy of the Red Hat Linux
Huh.
minus money. Minus money. All the updates, all the things, everything comes. It is a non-commercial Red Hat equivalent. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
And CentOS stands for
Yes.
Community Enterprise Operating System. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now in say RHL 7 and CentOS 7, there are around currently my application, madam. I want to show you how many different free applications or free utilities which I can use in the CentOS or Red Hat, given directly in the given directly in the DVD. Because you want to
Mm-hmm.
install any operating system, Red Hat operating system or CentOS operating system, you need to download ISO image or a DVD image, then burn it into a DVD or directly install. Okay, because I have installed it from an ISO image. I am just showing you what are the different, how many number of different utilities. By default, CentOS is giving me free of cost with the DVD itself, direct DVD, not extra. Can I show you?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, now I am going to show you that. I am going to root directory. This root directory, what of that will come after installation. For time being, just understand this is the change directory command which is changing to root. PWD is the present working directory. I am in root, which shows that I am in root. ls command is the command which shows all the data available here. Madam, I have created a CentOS 7 directory here. You can see the blue color.
Mm-hmm.
Blue color. Okay, this CentOS 7 directory is my backup from the ISO image. I have created this from that ISO DVD image. I have created this CentOS. This CentOS 7 is my backup for different utilities which I want to use in my Linux or CentOS operating system. I am going into that CentOS operating system in order to show you what are the different utilities by free I am getting. Okay, I am into the CentOS Linux operating system LS. In this, there is a drive called packages. As you can see here, packages.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going into the packages folder. Okay, so I am into the packages folder. As you can see, I am just opening ls command. It is giving me all the different packages available in this CentOS 7 server. It is just zip parsed. Everything is in. You can't see how many number of it because it is out of the window size. Okay, I will show you how to see how many packages are there with a small utility, Linux utility. ls wc-l will give me number of packages available here. ls command I am piping
Okay.
to wc. Word count is a command which is actually checking all the number of files which have been displayed by the ls command. As you can see, there are 10,071 applications in this ISO image.
Oh,
Madam, you understand 10,071 images.
10,000.
It is 10,000. And this number is always increasing, it is not decreasing, to your knowledge. Got it? So now you got to understand how many default packages being developed by different and how many people are contributing to this open source because of the
Yes.
GNU. Now you got to understand how the GNU is helping us. Madam, why is actually Windows not preferred? Only thing is Windows not preferred, madam. There are two things. Security wise, Windows is very less problematic. Security wise. And if you want to install anything, suppose you want to install web server, you want to install any mail server. In Windows, the mail server, in Windows version of OS, server OS, like Windows 2008, Windows 2003, or Windows 2012, if you want to install it, deploy it, security is one problem. Second thing is you have to pay lot of actually license amount to the Microsoft people. Third is that if you want to actually do simple example, like I want to actually deploy a web server on Windows. I want to deploy a ADS, LDAP server, which is actually Active Directory Services in Windows. I have to pay for the Windows for each and everything and take license and then only deploy. So it is working out expensive for me. Got to understand. So this way you got to understand that. Oh, 1 minute. This way you got to understand. See how Linux is making our lives easy. How these many people are contributing for the development of the Linux, you got to understand because it is a freeware. It is giving me all the utilities, powerful, can be deployed anywhere. Got it? Okay. This way, Linux is actually helping us. If you want to deploy what is called, if you want to deploy a mail server on Windows operating system, Windows Server or Windows Server 2012 server operating system, mainly Windows Server operating system, we have to buy the license. Later, if you want to deploy Windows Server operating, after Windows Server operating system is deployed, if you want to install mail server, local mail server, madam, you are in a company. Small example, you are in a company of 100 people. 100 people. Your company of 100 people. You need internal mail server to actually communicate with mails to each and every other your colleagues. Yes. Okay. If I taken the Windows operating system for the server for the same 100 people, then I have to pay the same license. It doesn't depend on how many people you are using. After that, you want to employ the mail server, then you have to buy the Exchange server from the Windows Microsoft operating Microsoft person. For these many licenses, this many people have to pay this much costly. Okay. So the same thing can be done in Linux operating system like CentOS, that to RHL, not even paid like RHL, than CentOS operating system, free of cost. And powerful enough and getting the same utility. Why should I go for Microsoft? That is the main disadvantage of the Microsoft. Microsoft operating systems are mainly used for a client communication only. Server operating systems are 90% are made basically on Unix or Linux flavors. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now you got to understand what is the actually difference between a Microsoft operating system and a Linux operating system. What are the different things we are getting by free? Okay. Now we'll come to the features of Linux, madam. I will take another 15 minutes of class. Don't worry. Do you have any issue? No, no. Durga, madam, do you have any issue?
Okay.
Can I take the class for another 15 minutes?
Sure.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now coming to, now you understand what is RHEL, what is CentOS, what is Unix, what are the flavors, how each person has contributed. Now the Unix to be in this stage or Linux to be in this stage. Now we are going to understand what is the features of the Linux, basic Linux operating system features in general. Okay. Linux is open source. You got to understand already. Linux is a multitasking OS. Madam, I'll tell you what is the meaning of a multitasking OS. And Linux is a multi-user OS. Small example. Small example. Madam, okay, Linux server is deployed in your company. You are working for 10 people or 100 people. You deployed a Linux machine, hardware, and on that Linux server is deployed. Okay. One person I have deployed web server. I have deployed web server in order to host your web company's website. I have deployed a file server like NFS, FTP, Samba in order to share your data between your colleagues. Okay. And how many people are working in your company? 100 people. Every person is actually working on the Linux server itself. That means it is actually supporting multi-user people. And at the same time, each person is doing his own work, not just one work. Everybody is doing the same work. Each work is working on the same thing. Means it is a multitasking. At the same time, multi-user, and each person can do multiple tasks and independent of others, which are affecting each and every, and still use the performance of the Windows OS better than users and security also. Got it? Okay. And moreover, I will tell you. I already told you about the Unix vendors like AT&T, Bell Labs, Sun Microsystem who have implemented Solaris, IBM, HP who have implemented HP Unix, AIX. Madam, these people have actually developed their own OS on the Unix, but these are all very costly and highly
Sorry,
built.
so your voice.
Oh, sorry. Now you can hear me? Sorry, madam. Hello, you can hear me?
From last 1 minute, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Can you please repeat?
Now I am telling about the features of your Linux operating system. Linux is an open source, multitasking, multi-user. Okay. These three things are free. Already you got it. Next comes the portability, scalability, reliability, and security are the different features of the
Okay.
Linux operating system. Okay. I will explain about the portability and scalability of the Linux operating system. Madam, I already gave you the history of Unix OS, how different vendors like AT&T, Bell Labs, Sun, IBM, HP have taken the Unix old OS, modified accordingly, and released their own operating system in their name. And these are highly costly. If you want to actually deploy a Sun Microsystem Solaris operating system, you need to have Sun Spark machine, hardware from the Sun computers, Sun Microsystems only. It cannot be deployed on other hardware. Okay. If you want to deploy HP company's vendor HP UX operating system, Unix original operating system taken by HP, modified and released as HP UX, you have to take the specific hardware which is costing lakhs or crores of rupees, depending on your utility, number of people, what is the requirement of your company. Okay. But Linux being portable, you can install Linux on any Windows, any Linux hardware without any issue. No compulsory that I need Linux OS means Linux hardware specifically, nothing. You can install on Intel machines, you can install on AMD and other chips. Also it supports. So this way I am actually decreasing my amount or investment in the company. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. And at the same time, Linux is scalable. Means the same operating system with the same operating system with this 10,000 package can be deployed as a client system. Means you are in your house, in your laptop, you don't want Windows operating system, because while buying my laptop, I didn't take any OS. I deployed my Linux OS for free. Okay. The same Linux OS, the same thing without any change can be even deployed on server machines, and it can do all the server operations. How versatile it is. Got it? Because the same Linux OS can be deployed on your client desktop machine, and you use that machine for your internet usage, browsing, or any other thing, games, website, or anything, or any other programming you can do. And the same OS without any change can be deployed on the server OS, server hardware, and at the same OS supports hundreds and thousands of users. Same OS, no difference. Can be used as a client, as a used as a server. Means how versatile it is, madam, and how easy it is. Got it? Okay. Now coming to reliability. Madam, Linux OS is highly secure, highly reliable. No crash. There are millions of servers running on Linux OS, which even not a single second downtime. You know,
Hmm.
got it? And highly secure. Madam, Windows is actually, though GUI, it has actually compromised on the security. In order to give you GUI, in order to give you ease of use, Microsoft has actually compromised on security of your system. You know that many viruses attack Windows, but most of the viruses don't affect on Unix or Linux. You know that.
Hmm.
So this way it is reliable, and this way it is also secure. Madam, now you understand the features of Linux, how the Linux came into existence of Unix, Linux, and are you happy with it? Are you okay with it? You want any other information, any other doubt, you can just ask me.
Hmm.
Madam Durga ji, have you any doubt? Durga ji, have you any doubt? You can ask. Madam, shall I go to the next thing?
Yes, sir. Till
Hello?
now, I am not having any doubt.
You don't have any doubt. You are clear with all the concepts, now, madam. What I'm saying, you are able to understand that. You tell me that I need your feedback.
Yes, actually, sir, just one thing I feel that you're going little bit faster. Can you
Okay, sorry,
please?
madam.
Hmm.
Okay, maybe I'm being carried out faster. Now I will decrease. Now I'll be very clear. And whatever the points which I'm actually mentioning here will be actually typed in this notepad and other application and will be forwarded to you daily. Will be forwarded to daily. So if you don't write any code notes or if you don't write any other thing also, no problem. You just
Hmm.
refer this uh, text file which I'm actually forwarding you every day. You will get to understand each and everything.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Now now you got to understand the features of Linux. Now I'll come to the companies which are Unix because companies which are using Linux. Okay. Google is one of the
Hmm.
company which is many other hundreds and thousands of companies are there which are using Unix and Linux operating system currently. Three ways. Like NASA is there, Wikipedia is there, many other companies. Okay. Now I am coming to the
Yes.
principles of Unix and Linux operating system. Principles. Okay. Principles. Okay. Everything is a file in Unix, madam. Or Linux. In Unix or Linux. Here, if I mention it is Unix also, then it is also Linux. Okay. By default, everything is a file. Is in everything in a Linux operating system is considered as a file. 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 It may be a text file, it may be a directory file, it can be a character special file, binary, it can be a binary file, any other file. Configuration data is stored in text files only. In Windows, you don't find any configuration data saved into text file and run. But Linux and Unix, any configuration you want to do, the configuration changes are written to a file. The file is actually then run in order to make the configuration changes permanent. Madam, is the speed okay?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. And it contains small and single purpose programs. Like if you want to create a directory, small command is mkdir. If you want to remove a directory, rmdir. It is a small interface that doing small work. Utilities are developed this way. Okay. Next,
Hmm.
ability to chain programs together to perform complex tasks. Already I showed you this chaining operation in a small example here. See, in the packages folder, which I'm highlighting here, previously when I gave ls command, I got the listing of all the packages one by one. Since it is beyond the size of the window, it just scrolled up. So then I applied Linux chaining operation. The ls command I am actually chaining to the pipe symbol to wc-l in order to get the output of 10,071. This is actually the command chaining operation, madam. Got it? Hello? Got it?
Command chaining
Chaining.
operation.
This will come when I tell you all the Linux utilities. This will come. I'm just
Hmm.
telling you. Previously, I told you Unix principle ability to chain programs together to perform complex tasks. I have actually
Okay.
changed a program ls to wc-l command in order to produce an output of 10,071. This is called command change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, now, madam, are you free? Can I show the installation of Linux operating system? CentOS. It takes only 5 to 10 minutes. If you want, I can show you. So tomorrow also I will show you again the Linux installation. If any other topics you are are not understanding, you can just ask me. I will repeat it again tomorrow.
Mm, Yes, sir. Just one thing I want to know that means
Okay,
in
tell me.
interview questions they are asking like what is the difference between Unix and Linux? So the one
Okay,
thing I yes get to know
okay,
like from Linux, Unix was developed and all those things.
madam.
Means
Only thing is that
how can we
Linux.
uh,
Okay, okay, madam. Only thing is
how
that
how can we
basis of
elaborate?
the okay. Okay, Linux is actually the even beyond. Linux is later one which has come, but Unix was the base OS which was created way back in 1973 using C programming language 1973. So
Mm,
Unix was actually made in a university, not AT&T Bell Labs. These are big kind of companies who actually deployed many scientists in order to develop these kind of things, futuristic things for that time. Okay, like AT&T Bell Labs. This Unix was a product of the AT&T Bell Labs. This Unix product was actually developed and later released to universities in America, where it was developed. Universities in America, Europe, wherever it was developed, in order to enhance it and in order to test it. Okay. Later, this Unix was taken over by different vendors like HP or Sun Solaris and
mm, mm,
actually
mm, mm.
marketed as their own company. What happened is that companies have started to market their Unix products in the name of their own company name commercially. Their problem
Huh.
is when the commerciality comes, what is the problem? Big companies, if it's a billion-dollar company, getting a server or getting a HP Unix or Solaris hardware, implementing everything is fine. Okay. But if the company is 10 members, if the company is a small company of 100 members, can I, that company, invest millions of dollars in implementing hardware and as well as OS? You tell me?
Hardware.
No.
No, no.
So
Mm.
there came the problem. There came the problem when these people started to implement the same thing, Unix, which was taken experimental from the AT&T Labs and developed by other universities, and
Mm,
started
mm.
to actually do their own hardware depending on their software, which was software written optimized to their hardware. But
Hmm, 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 hmm.
so
Yes, sir.
problem is that when this hardware was optimized for the software or optimized for the hardware, this software in order to install should work on their hardware only. SunSpark machine Solaris only. Okay, so it is
Hmm,
being
hmm, hmm.
costly. Then came
Yes.
this fellow Linux fellow Sarwards, then came and started a kernel who was taken from the Unix kernel and developed this another and a 386 system. Yeah, hardware is developed and released it to OSS. These people were only in the mindset that this should not be commercial. It should not
Huh.
be commercial. OS should not be commercial or any code should not be commercial. It should be free of the car, available to every seller. This made, what has it made? Servers were then before Linux, but servers like HP Unix or any other thing. These fellow has created a scenario where the same software, everything can be written free of cost and given to you. Why should I go for this hardware? And this Linux can be
Hardware.
implemented on
Hmm.
any hardware architecture. So Windows came into existence in 1990s only, 83, 84 they started, but it was popular only after it came into existence. And then Windows 3.1, Windows 3.2, then started graphical. Before that, MS-DOS was only character user interface. MS-DOS when it came in 1984 or 1983, it was character user interface. So not much effect. When this fellow converted that character to graphical in Windows 3.1, Windows 3.2, other afterwards Windows 95, this fellow gained popularity because of ease of use. See, Linux you are learning from me, but Windows will you learn from me? No, no.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Madam, you are getting what my point is. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
this fellow, Linux Star World, has created opportunity where free should be there, everything should be free and work everywhere. So, this opportunity is that Linux being open source and freeware and developed properly by other than GNU Foundation and open source foundation. it has given a competition to other Unix flavors in order, no, don't want, you can take this thing, still perform the same thing. And Windows competitor is not Unix, because Unix is totally server operating system. But Linux fellow is a competitor to Windows because Linux operating system can be installed on client and the same operating system scalable to server also. Got it? So
Okay.
that way Unix and Linux has been differentiated. Got it? Because of the money, because of their utility and availability and ease of going, this became very popular. Got it, madam?
Yes, sir.
Now you got the difference between Unix and Linux. Why that Unix
Yes,
was
yes.
created? Because the fellow started to charge money, and Unix was then later this Linux fellow has opened the free way that everything should be free and written, and every utility. Many scientists have developed that Linux to the level that Red Hat, some vendors have taken same thing, modified it with little money. Red Hat also doesn't charge millions of rupees. It will take little money compared to that HP Unix, AX, OLR. It will take little money only. That way they are successful. But
Yes, yes.
base of
So
all,
actually, so actually one point I understood, but then when I think of elaborating it, then I got confused. But now I clear.
madam, now you are clear. How do you think my my lecture is? How do you think? I need your what is feedback? That is what I'm asking. Because you are the first student here in today's batch. So, madam, is it clear? And tomorrow, from tomorrow onward, it will be even more enjoying, madam, because Linux is such a enjoyable and such a diverse and operating system. Many things you can do from it. Wherever you want to deploy. If you want to deploy as a firewall, if you want to deploy as a server operating system for a website, this, that, anything can be done, madam. Such a thing. It can, the same operating system can be configured for a single user, the same operating system can be configured for a million users. Still no problem, no downtime, no security issues like Windows and other things. Got it? Durga ji,
Yes,
are you getting it, madam? You are staying calm. Durga ji, are you getting it? Madam, how do you think? How's the class today? How did you understand? Hello? Ankita ji?
yes, yes. You are explaining in a very nice way, but just one thing that I already told you that you are going little bit faster. But
Okay,
yes,
from tomorrow, today it is actually the demo session where I have to explain more things in less time. So I have to go fast, so I went fast. From tomorrow it will not be that. From tomorrow it will be very brief, very elaborate, and each and every point will be shown on the text file and given to you. There you can actually check it and read it. You don't need to write any notes. Okay. Madam, today now already 9:35, so my need may not be able to take because. So I will be ending my session here. So you can give your feedback. Tomorrow will be also a demo session to my information. Tomorrow also come. Tomorrow will be very interesting. Tomorrow we are going to deal with Linux CentOS 7 installation in a text mode and graphical mode. Apart from that, day two, next day, means second day tomorrow, we are going to actually see what are the differences between a Windows installation and a Linux installation and a Windows file system and a Linux file system, how they are different, how they are different, and what are the different utilities. Okay. Okay.
okay,
Tomorrow will be the
sure.
installation, Windows installation differences with Linux installation. Apart from that, Linux file system and Windows file system hierarchical differences also tomorrow will be shown. And Linux CentOS 7 server installation, text format installation, and server format installation also will be, graphical format installation will be shown tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, sir. And at the same time, right? 8 p.m.
8 o'clock, madam. 8 o'clock sharp. Today we are late by 5 or 10 minutes because the people have to join. Tomorrow it will be 8 or maximum 8:05. Okay.
Okay, sure, sir.
So good night, madam. Good night. Good night, Durga ji.
Yeah,
Madam,
thank
how do you
you.
feel?
Good night.
Durga ji, how did you feel? Durga ji, I need your feedback. Little louder, I can't hear you. Durga ji.
There is a problem with my mic.
Oh, okay. Then repair your mic and come tomorrow. Tomorrow will be very interesting. We are going to install CentOS 7. There are many multiple ways of doing some things. I'll show you all those. Okay. See you. Good night. Thank you.
Yeah. Good night, sir. Bye.
Good night.